Hey, yo, I want to give a special shout out to Cal Dental USA. They taking dentistry to the next level. I'm wishing all the employees, a real, just safe quarantine, man, during this time. I know it's tough. But look, if you need a dentist from LA to the OC, they got you covered, man. Like Hustle Man would say, the marathon continues. You heard?
You got it locked on Roadium Radio.
Due to circumstances beyond anyone's control, Dr. Dre is in the motherfucking house. So right about now, and I say, yo Steve, are you with me? ICE, are you with me?
Here's a little something about a nigga like me. They never should've let me buy tape from Steve. Ice Cube would like to play dope shit mixed by Dr. Dre. And since I was a youth, I like Compton. Now I like the motherfucking Roadium. Buying a tape or two, that's what the hell I do. You don't like Tony A? Well, fuck you, this is a game, and I'm in it. Ice Cube will fuck you up in a minute with a right, left, right, making you sick. And then you see Tony A is on the mix.
Tony A! Tony A! When you're ready, go.
Welcome back, everyone, to Roadium Radio, episode 313, I believe. Is that what it is, Alex? 313. You know what? I want to thank everybody who took the time today to be a part of the podcast. We usually go live around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock on Wednesdays and Sundays. But today we decided to go live on Friday at 12 noon or 12:30. But due to technical difficulties, but don't worry about it, we're still here live. So I want to thank everybody on the live chat, everybody who liked, commented, subscribed, everybody who shared, and everybody who disliked. It doesn't matter. You guys are still watching. So thank you guys for being a part of the show. Before I introduce my very special guest, let me give you guys a reminder. Later on, I'll be posting on not only on the YouTube community, on my Facebook, but also on my Instagram that I will be live podcasting with my team at the MC Magic Concert. You guys can get tickets at mcmagicconcerts.com, right across the street from Olvera Street. Okay, right across the street. There's probably going to be a capacity of about 2,000, 2,500. I know they're already close to 2,000 tickets sold. They're going to have vendors, and Magic's going to be performing. Baby Bat's going to be performing. Little Rao's going to be performing, and a very special guest surprise by somebody. Okay, so I'm not going to give you no hints, but you're kind of looking at them. But anyways, we're going to go be there podcasting live starting at 6 o'clock. Make sure you guys get your tickets. And once again, we will be there. But you are not going to see the show, but you will see interviews there from the artists that will be performing. Other than that, if you guys missed the last couple of episodes, make sure you guys go and check it out. We just had a Reverie. We just had Crystal Pop, and we just had like so many other people here. But definitely go check it out. But today's show has been sponsored by Nacho Granny's Cookies. So once again, you could get them regular or medicated, okay? And these are the medicated. These are the ones I kind of stay away from because if I take the medicated, I'll probably end up being relocated, okay? And this one right here, she actually blessed me with a shirt, so I got to definitely sport it sometime. So her Instagram is in the description, so make sure you guys hit her up for some cookies. Okay, and this is what the cookies look like. They are beautiful and fat and nice and thick, like a lot of you young ladies out there. So, anyways, other than that, we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into it with the one and only Chingo Bling. How you doing, my brother?
What's up, brother?
I'm blessed. You know what? I offer these to you, so maybe.
Thank you, bro.
Maybe you can do them righteous and take some and make a video.
For sure.
But other than that, brother, how was your trip coming over here? I know you're originally from Texas.
Yep.
Okay. You drive out here? You fly out here? Or?
Yeah, I flew in.
Okay. And how was the drive coming over here today? Because I think you guys hit a little bit of traffic.
Oh yeah. It was cool, man. Beautiful weather, beautiful scenery. Of course, the traffic comes with it. But,
Yeah. Well, let's promote a little bit of what you're doing here this week. I know you got some performances, if I'm correct, or some stand-up.
Yes, sir. 6 shows at the Covina Laugh Factory, a brand new club. We did the first show yesterday. We have 2 tonight, 2 tomorrow, 1 on Sunday. So yeah, looking forward to it, man.
Now, when you say 2, because most people that I interview here are artists or rappers like yourself, but a lot. When you say 2, do you go on twice in the same location? Like, okay,
All 6 shows, same club.
okay.
That's one thing I love about comedy is you're able to do like in markets where where they'll have you and where the club thinks you could pull enough people. So the weekends are reserved for like those kind of comedians.
Yes.
In that particular market. So that's what I love about comedy is you have 6 chances to perform, to have your people come see you, and you can reach a lot of people because back in my rap days, you had to wait on a promoter to take a chance on you, invest in you, put in the work, bring you out to their city, and it's just one show, one night. Yeah. So comedy is actually a little bit different. You get another opportunity, but a couple of hours later. Is that how that works? Yeah. So like for example, tonight, 7:30 show, 9:30 show.
That's dope. That's dope. Now I eventually want to get into comedy because me and my boy right here, Angel, let me give him a shout out. He's the Wilmington weatherman. We grew up with comedy, so I'm going to love talking comedy with you. But I want to start from the very beginning. But first and foremost, I want to ask you, it's Friday. How has your weekend been going since? Everything good?
Good, man. I was a little under the weather.
Okay.
So been trying to rest because just being on the road, like,
yeah.
I just did a crazy run. And I'm getting older, bro. I just had a birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, bro. Like, my birthday was, the 23rd? Like, was that 2 days ago?
All right.
So we just been on the road, so it's been like planes, trains, automobiles, like crisscrossing. Go home for about 2 days, see the kids real fast. And chinga, bro, me tienen acá.
Yeah. Now, do you do your own bookings or do you have like a manager that takes care of that?
I have a wifeager.
Wifeager.
The shark.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, man. Shout out my wife, Marisol. She just flew in, so I said hello real quick, gave her a kiss and a hug. And then I said, hey, baby, I got to go to work. I got to go get on this Roadium. Historic, legendary podcast.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
You.
You know what? Now, let me ask you this. For the people that may not know, because there was a couple of heads, I never heard of them. And it's fair enough. I know a lot of these younger teenagers were hitting me up and asking me, I've never heard of them. So look, tune in and find out. So for those people, where originally are you from?
Houston, Texas.
Okay. Now, your parents are from Houston, Texas?
No, my parents are from La Ciudad de Tres Mentiras. Ciudad Hermoso, Tamaulipas. So, no es ciudad, no es valle, no es hermoso. Okay. That's where my parents are from. And, I grew up in Houston.
Okay. You know what? The first time I was in Houston, 1991, I performed at a club called the Palladium.
Okay.
And it was funny because, not funny in this sense, but when I went there, I was probably like and I'm going to say white guy, even though I'm Mexican, but the only white guy there, it was all black.
Yeah.
I went there I was DJing for High C, second to none AMG, DJ Quick. 1997, I went back and I'm DJing for Mellow Man Ace, and it's all raza. It like changed like within 6 years. So it's just crazy how we went from an all black club to an all raza club.
Well, you were on different artists, yeah.
Yes, yeah. But it was owned by an owner that all he was doing was throwing banda music or that type of music there. But yeah, now do you still live in Houston?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's headquarters.
Okay. Now coming over here so much to LA, do you ever think about moving out here knowing that you love the weather out here? And
well, I lived out here for a year.
Okay.
Yeah, I did a pilgrimage on my own. When I was in the film Philly Brown. Philly Brown, the movie, it went to Sundance, and it got distributed. It was like the hottest film at Sundance, one of the hottest films at Sundance. Obviously, Jenna Rivera, all her fans like really supported the film. She was in the movie. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Gina Rodriguez was like a new face in the acting world. So she was like a hot commodity. Everybody was really impressed with her performance. She was like a rising star. And then the movie got bought, picked up for distribution. It went to theaters. So I was like, yo, I got to be close to the action, bro.
Exactly.
Like, what am I doing over here, So I was like, yo, I'm in this movie. So I wanted to be close to the action, so I moved to LA for a year just to kind of put in work, see what I could make happen.
Yeah.
Kind of peep the scene, took some acting classes, a lot of meetings. I hustled up a couple roles in like independent films.
Yes.
I thought that was going to be more of my pivot and my transition to reinvent, But after a year, I was like, nah, I got to get back. So I'd go back and forth. I had a 4-year-old, 4 or 5-year-old at the time, so I had to make sure.
It was really tough being out here. Yeah. Okay. Now, you know what? Me growing up, like I said, in a Mexican home, and my dad, both my parents are being from Mexico, but I was born here. Like half of my family, the other half was born in Mexico. I grew up pretty much with a Mexican dad who was like the Mexican Jim Carrey. Like he was a real clown, okay?
Yeah.
He's the one who introduced me to music, introduced me to instruments, he introduced me to black and white films, but most of all, he introduced me to comedy. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about. What type of comedy do you remember growing up with or watching as a young child?
Well, cool thing is I was getting a combination of things.
Okay.
So obviously my dad was a huge fan of El Pirruris, Luis de Alba.
Yes.
Huge fan. That was like his Cat Williams. He'd go around quoting his stuff, the doo-doo-doo, all that.
Yeah.
And obviously like being like an 80s baby.
Yes.
Eddie Murphy. Seeing Eddie Murphy kill it with Raw and Delirious. Eddie Murphy was like one of the biggest things in the 80s from like SNL, Beverly Hills Cop, all these movies, right? All these, he was just on top of the world. So that was a huge influence. So like, I'm like, yo, I'm hearing these cuss words, this seems like a cool job. So that was like comedy, stand-up comedy was like my first dream, really.
Yeah.
Just as a kid where it's like, man, I would love to be in entertainment. And so obviously you have all the influence of like, Cantinflas.
Sí.
Chespirito,
El Chapulín or El Chavo.
Sí, El Chavo del Ocho. Chespirito, they called him that because it was like a play on like Shakespeareito, because he was so good with the pen. He wrote all those episodes. So I really appreciate him. So just, growing up in America with Mexican roots, you're getting all these combinations of so many different influences. Everything from like BET Comic View, that influenced my style a lot.
Yes.
¿Qué más? Sitcoms, Lucille Ball. I mean, you're getting influence from everywhere. So the rest is history, man. Like, I just couldn't wait. Like I remember as a kid being on my bike with my friends, and I'd have like my little Walkman, and I'd have either like Eddie Murphy stand-up cassette playing or like NWA. So at the same time, I'm just like hip-hop, because I have 2 older sisters, and then some of my neighbors, they had older brothers, so we're exchanging cassettes and stuff. Anything from like LL Cool J, KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions, Public Enemy, Chuck D. Obviously when, Kid Frost was on TV talking about This Is For La Raza, I was like, yo, what's happening here? Like you mentioned, Mellow Mayonnaise, Be Real, Cypress Hill, that was huge. Yeah. So I'm just a kid absorbing all this stuff. And then you have like the Houston rap scene developing. And then I got shipped off and I went, I did high school in New Jersey. And I'm getting all this New York influence. Oh, wow. So I'm just kind of like a smorgasbord of just absorbing from everywhere.
If you don't mind me asking, what part of New Jersey were you at? Were you staying?
Yeah, it was Central.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked, because my daughter was stationed out there. She's in the Air Force, still in the Air Force.
Okay.
But she was first stationed in McGuire, New Jersey. Wherever you went, whether it's north, south, east, or west, it's 40 minutes to get to wherever.
Yeah, it's a little bitty state. Yeah.
Yes. And just to let people know, and people get mad at me when I said it, but I'm going to go ahead and say it, the best pozole that I ever had, believe it or not, was in New Jersey.
Y te van a cancelar, carnal. Te van a hacer como la Yaritza de Washington. Pobre muchacha. Boy, they try to bully that little girl. How old is she?
She's
16. And the internet has no chill, like
no mercy.
I'm a grown ass man, and I know what it's like to be attacked on the internet by strangers who have been who had an opinion assigned to them, or how narratives get created.
Right.
And these kids are 16. They were being honest. They were being transparent. You know, maybe they didn't have media training. Like, hey, some things just keep to yourself, you know?
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, they're kids, they're American kids who like chicken nuggets. It's like a lot of y'all's kids like chicken nuggets. A lot of y'all's kids like, you know, chicken tendies and French fries and ketchup, and they're American. They like processed food. And we don't know where in Mexico they took them to eat. Maybe it was nasty. Like, es que lo que pasa es this. Eso es lo que pasa. En veces, güey, la raza, we have like these, I want to think of the word, but like these, some things we put on pedestals that you're not allowed to touch. Like, what do you call that? Like
it could be sacred to us, and
like sacred cows, I think is the word. Like a sacred cow, where there's some things que no se permite, like no matter what.
Yes.
You know, and as a stand-up comedian, my job is to see what the line is that you're not allowed to cross,
right?
And find inappropriate ways to tell truthful, funny things. You know, so I trip out on that, and I kind of feel bad for those kids because not everybody is built for that.
Yes.
Not everybody, like I've been in the game for a long time. I would like to think that I have pretty thick skin.
I believe you do.
Because I understand that everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm not going to please everybody.
Yes.
I like being true to myself, and I like to evolve and be honest and transparent and know that I'm not going to please everybody, and you're going to perceive things, and someone's going to assign you an opinion, and you can have your opinion, and sometimes people disagree with me, and they don't even know about what specifically, and that's okay.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of people in the world. I'm not going to please everybody. You don't have to come to a show. You don't have to listen. You could boycott me, whatever. But be mindful that sometimes, pobrecita, I saw her crying on Pepe, what was it? As a Pepe Garza's thing. And it's like, they're kids. Like, relax. Like, y'all, some people get just so offended. And you have the right to be offended if you want to be. Like, you know, everybody has their own perception. From my point of view, it's like, she's a 16-year-old girl, her little bandmates, and, you know, they went down there and told y'all to y'all's face, I think y'all's food is mid. You know? So, I don't know. Okay. I just feel bad about, you know.
Somebody had told me, because I wanted to go get some Mexican food over there, and some guy told me, oh, you probably have to go to Lakewood, New Jersey. And so we went to Lakewood, New Jersey, and I asked, well, we're looking for Mexican food, and somebody said, well, go across the street. That's Jackson, New Jersey. I think it's called Jackson. So we went there. We saw a hole in the wall. We went in there, and they had tostados on the tables and everything. So I just said, let me just try it. Let me support here. Yeah. And I saw this lady, you know, looked like straight Mexican mom from Mexico. And I said, you know what, you got a menu? Yeah. She barely knew how to talk English. Mm-hmm. Her son came out, served us. And I asked him, like, what are you guys doing out here, if you don't mind me asking? Like in the middle of nowhere. Said some white guy went to Mexico, offered him a job, come work for us over here. We're going to make some type of Italian food or something. But it didn't work, and he went broke. So he just said, you guys can keep the place, but you guys want to rent it. So we just figured nobody's selling Mexican food over here, so we did it. They brought it, and it was delicious, bro. It was delicious. I keep forgetting the name of the place, but I did take a picture of it outside, but it was delicious. And I came back, and I told people the best post I ever had was in New Jersey.
Well, you know what's interesting, bro, is when I attended school out there, late 90s, nobody really knew what a Mexican was at the time. But fast forward, I got invited to speak at Princeton for something. I don't know what that was about, a few years ago. And I met some kids from Passaic, New Jersey, which is like northern, right by New York. Y era pura raza. Like, it blew my mind that Passaic, New Jersey. It's spelled Passaic. And that little town is like 95% Mexican. And then when I performed stand-up comedy in New York City, obviously, like, my fan base, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be raza for the most part, right? I'd like to think that my fan base is way more diverse. You know, I get different people, but for the most part, it's going to be raza. So we do New York, and it was tricky because the New York raza, it's almost like they're New Yorkers first.
Yes.
So the guys that I had opening for me, no le podían atinar because they were just kind of like thrown off.
Yeah.
Because they were like New York comedians, Chris DiStefano and Cypher Sounds. They're pretty big time. But they were kind of thrown off like, all right, okay, Mexicans, all right. Right away, people think about our food because our food is so influential
Yes.
that they can't separate the people and the culture from the food. So it's like, oh, shit, let me pull out my burrito jokes. I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, bro, these are New Yorkers. That's their culture. So, and then me too, I'm kind of missing the mark because I'm trying to read the crowd, trying to hit them with jokes that I had at the time that were more like, you know, these are jokes that Mexicans can relate to and it should work because they're Mexican. It's like, yeah, bro, but we're New Yorkers first.
Right.
It's like, talk about the subway, you know, talk about the weather, like just something as to how they live. So even though they have Mexican roots, their identity and the way their rhythm and what's on their top of their mind is New York.
New York, yeah. So you were out there for a year, you said?
High school?
No, I'm sorry, because you said you were in Jersey. You said you were.
Yeah, I was 4 years in Jersey.
4 years.
4 years,
Wow.
all high school, all my high school years.
That's dope. Okay, now let me ask you this: if there's such thing, your all-time favorite comedy movie of all time?
Oh man, favorite comedy movie of all time. Man, I'm drawing a blank. Because I like to laugh. There's a lot. Let me think, man.
Name a couple and then say, I'll go with this one.
Yeah, I mean, just off the top of my head, I mean, I get a good laugh out of like Big Lebowski, Superbad, just random stuff like that. I mean, obviously, like I'm a big fan of like Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy, but it's like, okay, Martin, I know the sitcom, and I know Martin and Eddie did Life, but it's like, I don't really.
Okay,
So that's a tough one, man. Yeah,
mine
I'm stumped.
has always been Coming to America.
That's a great one. That's a great one.
Coming to
That's a
America.
great
I think me and my boy right here went to go watch it together. So, but
That's
yes,
a great movie, man.
I love that movie. I watched part 2. I thought it was kind of whack, bro.
No, esa sí no valió. They shot it at Rick Ross' house. No mames. No mames. I mean, those are big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
The original concept was just so perfect. That whole storyline, the chemistry between Arsenio Hall and Eddie Murphy.
Yes. Any comedy sitcoms that you can say, man, this was my shit growing up?
Sitcoms?
Yes.
Oh, dude. I mean, I liked a lot of stuff like Married with Children, Roseanne, but Martin, dude.
Okay.
Martin in high school, like the way the dorms were set up, we had like the common area where the TV was with sofas and a microwave if you had to make a maruchan or popcorn or something. So everybody in the dorm would fight over the TV. It was like, I guess jail. I don't know. I've never been. But we tried to hurry up and put Martin on before they put Seinfeld on.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, we want to watch Gina and Martin and their hijinks.
I tried watching Seinfeld, bro. I just couldn't get into it, bro.
Yeah, I think my wife says she kind of like understood it, but I mean, I know it's a big show.
Yeah.
I just never really. Yeah, show about nothing. A lot of people like it. I was just so consumed by the Martin Lawrence sitcom. And even in high school, I remember Martin dropped a couple stand-ups that were fire that everybody, because we would get snowed in.
Okay.
So on the blizzard days, here I am, a little Texan. Like, nobody knows anything about Texas. They're just like, Texas? Like, they didn't know what a Mexican was. And then, because they were like, you're not Mexican. Mexicans are shorter and darker. And I'm like, I am pretty short. They're like, yeah, dude, but they're like way darker. They didn't understand that we got ginger Mexicans, like, Peso Pluma, he's half Lebanese or whatever. Sam Hayek's half Lebanese.
Canelo.
Like, Canelo parece ginger, Irish. He look like he drink Mountain Dew. He's from West Virginia. But es más raza que yo, güey. People don't know. I want to make this point. Sometimes our idea of what Mexican is because La Raza, we're very prideful.
Yes.
We're very prideful, and it'll blow people's mind if you told them, okay, mariachis, that came from like Italy or something because it's European instruments, and it means like mariachi. If somebody's getting married, bust out the instruments. Well, they brought that shit because Mexico has immigrants. Tacos árabes, donair, I guess Lebanese, el trompo, tacos del trompo, that comes from al pastor, that's shepherd style. So that comes from like Middle Eastern, I don't know who, Lebanese, Turkish, whatever immigrants. Beer. Una cerveza, carnal, Mexican beer. Okay, that came from Bavarian and German ancestry. It's a melting pot. If you want to get to like something that's super authentic Mexican music, it's probably gonna be like just straight drums, like
right.
pre-Hispanic, before anybody from Europe. Some apocalypto shit. They were sacrificing each other, enslaving each other, genociding eating other, eating tamales con sapo. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but obviously we're like, the people of the corn. So the diet was a very distinct thing that later got influenced and evolved based on this a mixture of people. So it blows people's mind when it's like, accordions, that's Mexican, or banda, that's Mexican. It's like accordions and trombones and tubas, all that comes from Europe. So you have to not be so rigid with your identity, because sometimes people get a little too I don't know what it is, bro. I don't know why why we're so almost like prideful to a fault, to where it almost makes us close-minded.
Very, very true when it comes to a lot of that stuff, man. My favorite sitcoms, because I'm going somewhere with this. My favorite sitcoms growing up were What's Happening, Good Times, Sanford and Son, and to be honest with you, my favorite one was probably Three's Company. Okay, rest in peace, Jack Tripper. I used to love that guy. Him and Stanley, the manager,
Mr. Furley,
and then Mr. Furley came later. But it was Stanley first, and then Mr. Furley. But now, as far as comedy is concerned, now, because I think not only is has our freedom of speech being taken away, or possibly has been taken away. Let's go back to what's his name, and this is not in no particular order. Dave Chappelle had somebody run up on stage and I don't know if he tried to shank him or something like that, and they beat the living shit out of him. Yeah. And then Chris Rock, he said a joke. Will Smith went over there and slapped him. Yeah. Now, people are being very sensitive. You as a comedian, do you feel that you have to watch what you say these days? Because today we live in a generation that doesn't give a fuck, but is easily offended. Yeah. So do you ever feel like, okay, I can't say that shit?
No, you make an excellent point, man. There's different ways to look at it. I definitely feel that our free speech is slowly being attacked. And I also believe that stand-up comedians and just comedians in general, it's kind of our job a lot of times. A lot of us, we choose to, like I said earlier, try to figure out what can't we say, what line can't we cross. Right. Like, we still have to hold up a mirror to society. We still have to say truthful, point things out, because the news is full of crap. We're living in this synthetic world. Everything is just processed and confused, and everything's division. So I believe that comedians have a very important role to make sure that we're still able to, like, can we criticize presidents? Like, is that allowed right now? Or we got to wait, depending on who. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, to answer your question, do I watch what I say? No. But also, I want to bring people together. Like, I want people to laugh, and I don't want to reference something. Like, for example, if I say something like, man, when I'm in the studio, these young kids are popping pills, and I pull out my prostate protection pills. I might crush them up and snort it like a line or whatever. And they thought I was higher than the president's son, and they thought I was higher than Hunter Biden. If I say that, number one, it's going to go over people's heads.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, I might not have to I won't use that line. I think it's funny.
Yeah.
And it's like 3 years from now, y'all might get it when y'all start realizing some stuff that a lot of people know. Or I might make a joke about Michelle Obama or something, but people might not get it. So it's kind of like, anytime I do kind of self-censor, it's not really to not offend people so much, but it's more like, some people probably don't know what you're talking about. Like if I make a joke about the Chinese spy balloons that were flying over our thing, it's like, did you even know that was a thing? Or like, are you going to get the reference?
Right. Oh.
You know.
So is it safe to say then that maybe you have to dumb it down a little bit?
You have to keep things simple.
Okay.
Yeah, keep things simple. That's a part of a comedy, I think. But to answer your question, because it's a very important one about, is free speech being attacked? And I feel that comedy is the art form. It's almost like we're gonna be the last stand. Like once they shut up comedians, and once
it's a wrap.
Yeah, exactly. That's right before communism comes, right? Like, once you start arresting your political opponents, like the ones that are like the front runners, like super popular, but you want to arrest them or whatever. And once you start shutting up comedians, then it's gonna look like Latin America, third world country type stuff. I never knew that when I got into stand up, that I was gonna have it. Like it feels like a lot of responsibility. It's almost like a really cool job, because not only is like I love this job, man. I love stand-up comedy. I'm so blessed to have this be another chapter in my career where I'm able to evolve and pivot. Super blessed, like, you know, because my audience has grown up with me. But I take free speech serious, and you know, for everybody listening, regardless of where you stand on the political spectrum, you really, really, really want to live in a country where people can speak freely and there is dialogue. And it's what you don't want is for one side to be able to shut up the other side by just accusing them. I'll give you an example. A lady, I was at a show and I was on a lineup.
Yes.
Chris Perez band was the headliner, and I finished my part. I went out to go kick it with the crowd, take, you know, some people wanted pictures and stuff. And some lady walks by, flicks me off. She's walking by and says, "You racist F. You racist fuck." Right?
You can say anything.
Yeah, but I'd rather not cuss. But
Okay.
it's like, you racist F-U-C-K.
Right.
I spelled it out. and I'm like, yo, either I could be a grown man, be mature, and just be here with my fans and not look bad. But it's like, you lob a grenade of an insult. You trying to put a jacket on me.
Yeah.
Then now I have to defend myself. You just threw out an allegation with no evidence, no backup. You just launch it because that's what people do when they want to shut up their opponents. Like, they just throw a label on you. And it's asymmetrical warfare, because you could just spin whatever you want, create a narrative, and just throw it on me. Or I could be petty, you know, and not be professional and cuss you out, you know, because I'm not running for president and I'm not here to please everybody. And sometimes I could get a little ghetto.
Yeah.
But that's unfortunate. Like, some people might think like, oh, well, that's cool, you know, to call the other side name, like, shut up, you Nazi, you know, you fascist, you know, you this, you that. And it's just a tactic. It's asymmetrical warfare. Yeah. It's just a tactic to little by little make people self-censor. Like, no, I better, you know, I'm just, because there's a lot of, there's a whole bunch of, and I don't want to like really go down the political route, because it's an endless thing where you no los vas a convencer, and like, I really don't care. You can believe what you want, me vale. Because most of my family, most of the people I work with, they probably vote different than me, and I don't care. That's perfectly fine. But hey, that's the world we live in, you know.
Yeah, you know. Now, another thing that I wanted to bring up was, okay, I'm trying to decide where to go with this, but let me just start with this. George Lopez, okay, one of my boys that works for him. Much love and respect to him. He had said something, I believe, to a comedian. I believe that comedian might have been from Texas. And he shouted out this kid, Barbosa.
Yeah.
And George Lopez, I guess, didn't seem too happy about that he was getting a shout out on his platform. So by George Lopez saying, and I'm just quoting what he said, by him saying, you know what, I don't know who the fuck that is. I don't know who it is. From what I understand, I heard that from that point on, George Lopez hasn't done any more podcasts. I don't know how true that is. But Did you watch that little episode of what he said?
I watched the entire episode.
What were your thoughts on it?
So, for one, it's an example of how things get taken out of context to create a narrative. So, I respect George on the artistic side. I respect what he's contributed. You know, I respect him as an artist. Obviously, we disagree politically, but that's separate.
Yeah.
But I defended him. Like, I gave him a hard time about his politics on my podcast, Red Pill Tamales. Like, I give him a real hard time about his politics. However, I defended him when it came to the Ralph Barboza debacle.
Yeah.
Okay? Because, you know, they spliced things up and they created a narrative to make him, and he might be a hater in real life. I don't know. I never met him. But they tried to create a narrative. Whoever cut that up, you know, because the way it was edited, it did make him look bad. It seemed as if he was saying, F that dude. Who is this kid anyway? I'm going to say his name wrong.
Right.
Because I'm purposely going to disrespect him because I don't, whatever. But really, I think it was more of a case of he's having a conversation with another comedian who they have their backstory. They have their history. And I feel like Ralph's name was kind of being used as like a tool in a debate. Like, for example, you never really helped me out. That's why I want to take the time to help out the new generation the way you should have helped us. And you never really saw that. So I'm right. And I'm going to show you I'm right because I'm so nice that I'm going to mention this kid. And he's just like, bro, why you? And it's like, you have to listen to the whole episode to see how many times this kid's name was brought up to be like, after a certain while, if you bring up somebody's name strategically, oh, no, it's cool. Okay, well, yeah, we'll change subject. But yeah, I want to bring this up again because you never really did a lot for a lot of comedians. And I kind of feel a certain way that you just had all this, you know, you're a big star, but you never really helped nobody out. That's why I want to shout this guy out. He's like, bro, who is this? Don't nobody know Jeremy Barbasol. Who are you? You know? So, unfortunately, Ralph just got caught in the crossfire. Right. Ralph was already catching so much steam based on his talent and great timing and his delivery to where he really didn't need that controversy. So now he was dragged in having to make your statement. What are you going to say to George now? And how do you feel about it? And he did a few interviews where I'm glad that he kind of saw I didn't really take offense. I mean, you know, I went back and listened to it. So I don't really fault George too much for that. You know.
Okay.
Because I'm fair. I like to be consistent. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I get a kick. I'm a nerd about this shit. Like, I'm a nerd about zooming out on situations and trying to see everybody's perspective and try to see where the miscommunication was and try to see how like a 10-second TikTok can paint a totally different picture. So video can lie. People think, I saw the video, but I saw, dude, the cop had his knee on his neck. I saw, how you gonna tell me? I know you saw the video. I know, but did you see the body cam from the other angle? Did you see the hour before? You know what I mean? Like, yes. No. I saw the 10 seconds, bro. Ain't you can't tell me. I saw it with my own eyes. It's like, I know. But did you see the other angle behind the tire? You know what I'm saying? By the thing. And what time was it on your angle? And did you see where it got cut?
Yes. No, of course.
Just like they did me. Where basically I had I did a live stream. I did a live stream on my Twitter. And I was saying a whole bunch of stuff. This is after like Lil Wayne came out in support of the orange, the orange one. And I used to hate the orange one. I had TDS. I had the derangement syndrome, where I believed everything my TV told me.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, fool, he's disrespecting La Raza. He calling us this. He said all of us, and that's racist. If you want to build that, that's racist. And he probably want to kick me out, even if I'm a citizen, whatever. And little by little, I started kind of seeing how the media works. And then I did my rant on Twitter, Periscope. And it's a funny story. I'll tell it real quick. And so I did my little rant, just being transparent, talking to my fans on Twitter, and not really saying anything crazy. It was like you had to really read between the lines. So I went back in the house, and my wife was like, so how'd it go? Like, you were back there for a little while. And I'm like, yeah, it was pretty good, She was like, so what all did you say? What'd you talk about? I was like, nah, I was just saying, you got to consider, like, what China got going on, and, we got to, we got to dig the oil, and it's our economy, and, the dollar, and how we're under attack, and whatever.
Right.
And, we got to defend certain things, and they're dividing us. And she's like, okay, well, you didn't say anything that's going to, like, be taken out of context, or something's gonna make you like shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Like, we were killing it. Like, yo, we're doing good right now. Like, do not rock the boat. And I was like, nah, I don't think so. I mean, I guess maybe if somebody went in, cut out parts, spliced it up, zoomed in, got in with that fine razor of like, yeah, I'm gonna take out that, that word. And I was like, I guess, but who's gonna do that? Well, somebody did it.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so the next morning I wake up, my phone's blowing up. They're like, bro, I know you're trying to go viral, but this probably ain't the way you intended. And, it is what it is, and people, I get it. I totally understand. Especially coming from me, where it's like, bro, you did a 180. How could it? It's like, bro, they trafficking kids through there, terrorists coming through there. It's not just abuelitas. That other countries literally dumping people off. Right? Ask the people in La Frontera, at Reynosa, how they feel about 10,000 Haitians chilling. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, fool, you hate Mexicans. No. I don't hate nobody. But they're literally organ trapped. They cutting out organs. They enslaving women. They're renting children because it's a legal loophole that if you got a kid with you, they could process. Oh, they could process you. Get a towel, dog. My bad.
It's all good.
I'm telling my animated story. I apologize.
It's all good.
I don't even know where I was going with that, but
so you just pretty much just went live on Twitter. You were talking to your fans, addressing certain things, and then by the next morning, everything was cut and spliced
up, and it went on all the food websites. The food's websites, the same ones. Thank you. The same ones that want to act like they're not political, and they want to be neutral. All of a sudden, they never endorsed anybody. All of a sudden, they never had anything to say. Like that dude, Lil Mystery. We used to like communicate via DM. It was a lot of respect. I don't know if he runs that page. Maybe he's just like the artist in the face, and I'm pretty sure he has people running it. Like, he probably don't have time to be messing with that. But it was we used to be very cordial. It was a DM situation. Hey, carnal, what's up, bro? Hey, respect. Hey, did you do these songs? Or hey, because I feel like a lot of ways, he and I never met him. It was just a DM thing. I feel a lot of ways we're kind of cut from a similar cloth in terms of like, bobbleheads, monitos, merchandising, branding, using the internet, using humor. So I feel like we got a lot in common. Like, there's a lot of synergy there. So when he reached out and we would DM, to me, it made total sense, because it's like, yo, like, I love what you're doing. I think it's dope. Like, that's hip hop, bro. You wearing the mask, like, you get it. You're kind of doing. You see the game how I saw the game. Like, a lot of it is wrestling, but a lot of it is about being creative and pushing the envelope. However, it's like, I get it. Y'all want to like yarita me, like, put me on your page, so everybody can have fodder and everybody could, anytime they would find like a Latino person who happened to vote for the orange one, they'll put you on display. They'll be like, oh, look at this fool. Just so they could get the engagement. Right. People can argue in the comments. Oh, you Texas fools, man. Y'all think y'all are like the Cubans, man. Y'all hate y'all's own. You hate your own. oh man, your fools over there. Look, worry about your own state. Look at your governor. Look what your governor doing.
Right.
All that stupid back and forth. And it's like, okay, so I thought we were cool. I get it. You put me on display so that y'all could, everybody could get their jabs in. I'm a grown man. That's fine.
And this was without him DMing you, letting you know. He just threw it out there.
I don't know if he's the one that did it.
Okay. Somebody on this page.
But that's fine. Leave it up. It's your page. I'm not telling you, hey, homie, delete that shit. Delete that shit right now. It ain't even like that. It ain't even like that. But it is like this, though. It's like, okay, bet. How can we work together so that if I have shows in Covina, if I got 6 shows in Covina, how can maybe put me on there again doing some other shit, or even put me on there again to make fun, but mention, by the way, this fool got 6 shows. Like, let me get something out of it, but at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. And, my opinion is they just kind of, all of a sudden they want to be neutral.
Right.
They post a lot of negativity. They encouraging. Like, that's one of my favorite comments. Like, I'll see these little Mexican kids with no big homie doing crash dummy shit, running up in 7-Elevens and shit. So, 80 vatos, agarrando fritos, chicharrones, tearing shit up, acting a fool like they ain't got no home trainer, like they don't have a father in the home. And I'll leave the comment like, who taught these fools to go wild? Why are these fools going wild? And it's like, you're contributing to this aspect of the culture. I'm not saying everybody has to be on some righteous positivity, like conscious rap or nothing like that. I get it. It's fun and games. It's entertainment. I say ignorant shit all the time. But don't go acting like all of a sudden. Don't hide your hand like you're neutral. Like, oh, no, homie, we never endorsed any political candidate. Like, hey, man, y'all can't make a Joe Biden joke? Like, there ain't nothing going on with this regime that y'all could poke fun of, nothing. Like, saca la bolsita. And some people were like, nah, they did. They said, this fool Hunter's on a sick one, fool. They did one time or whatever. And I go on there and check. I'm like, bro, are y'all not allowed? Like, who's paying y'all? Are y'all that biased, or y'all are afraid of losing y'all's fan base? Y'all don't want to get attacked. Y'all want to get in where you fit in with the crowd of what's popular, because you don't want to get confused as when it, like, for example, in their bio, it says like, no lames, no racists. 80% of the people in them comments are racist.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
true.
it's like, just take that off. Don't even put that. No racist.
For the people that may not know what you're referring to, so can you kind of give them an example of what that, when you went live tweet, but the next morning when you woke up and it was spliced, how did that make you look? Like what did they make you say? Can you give us an example?
I mean, basically, some of the stuff they spliced out, it was basically just like, what did I say? I don't even remember. It was basically like, I think he's doing a good job. 4 more years, or like, I don't know if there was any, but people put words in my mouth like, this fool went from they can't deport us all to build a wall. And it's like, and I'm like, okay, well, can we at least deport the bad ones, like the perverts? You know what I'm saying? Los cagapalos que andan haciendo un pinche desmadre, like making the good, hard-working raza that actually want to contribute look bad. And like I said earlier, right now the border is different. Like when I was running around being Mr. They Can't Deport Us All, I didn't realize what the border is now. The border now is almost like a lot of people that hate America are taking advantage. It's our Achilles heel. It's a matter of time till you start seeing maybe like a honor beheading, like somebody just behead somebody in the middle of the street. It's happening in Paris. Don't act like it can't happen here. Terrorist attacks, any type of mass situation, cagapalos, like gente desmadrosa that probably aren't going to be from Mexico. There's literally people coming from everywhere. But the way the raza, I feel like, has been kind of like trained, and I was like this, is we're very, our identity is very like Mexico first for a lot of things. Like, for example, MC Magic, he comes out with both flags. Yeah. Which I think is great because kids need a little bit of a reminder of like, hey, your parents maybe brought you here, or they made sure you were born here. because they want to contribute and they also want to participate in this beautiful experiment, this idea of freedom and economic prosperity. Pero no sé por qué o cómo, but I know, like with me, for example, and I don't want to say it's like an inferiority complex or anything.
Yeah.
But like when I was in New Jersey and I was a little kid, homesick, and my identity, my whole identity was like, Houston is home. Like I was so homesick, you know, like on the side of my books, I would draw like little Aztec pyramids and I would like, you know, play around with fonts and shit.
Yeah.
Like tag up my books and I'd put like Aztec, you know, like, you know, little fonts and stuff and red, white, and green, like La Bandera, I draw it on there.
Yeah.
You know, because I love my roots, I love my heritage, and it was a part of my identity. So I would even take like, if I would have like a juice box and it would say manufactured Houston, Texas, Coca-Cola Company or whatever, High C, whatever. And I'd cut that shit out, and on the desks it had a cork board. So I'd have it looked like to somebody's like, why you got trash? Like that's a piece of a fucking High C thing. Why is that there? And it's like, it reminds me of home because it says Houston, Texas, and like to show y'all fools like,
right,
we got shit too. Y'all think we're just living in the desert, riding horses with horns on our Cadillacs? It's like we're a metropolis. We're the 4th largest city. Shitload of crime and traffic and fucking chingo de gente, super diverse.
Yeah.
But anyway, my point is, I think like what happens sometimes is our identity and our love for our heritage and just being like, you know, Chicanos, whatever you call yourself, raza, Chicano, Mexican American, whatever. A lot of times it's so ingrained in us, our pride, that we somehow get tricked into not knowing what really comes with, like, border issues are very sensitive, you know. But if you go to South Texas, you could call these people sellouts if you want, but a lot of people agree with me. So like I'm still in tune with the times of, like, for example, that's like the Rio Grande Valley. Like, la raza's like, hey, no, pinche desmadre, güey. Like, they barely speak English. Like,
Right.
pura pinche raza. No, me están cagando el palo. Like, if you ever visit, shout out to the 956, the RGV, McAllen, Westlaco, Mission, Brownsville. Those pueblitos, güey. When you combine all those little towns, Mission, Edinburgh, it's just a huge metropolis. Pero son puros pueblitos. And they don't like seeing el desmadre, like, no, hombre, se están robando los estos y llegan los, you know, I don't want to
Right.
start naming countries and stuff,
Right.
but it's not your grandmother's border anymore, and there's atrocities happening. It's a ticking time bomb, and I don't want to be, like, it's such a touchy subject, especially coming from me, because people are like, bro, but you don't get it, man. You did a 180. It's like, I know, but it ain't the same, and we got fentanyl, and maybe because I'm 44 and I got kids and I pay taxes, I don't know, call it what you want. We don't have to agree. It's a very nuanced subject, but I will say that for raza, it's almost like the cardinal sin of, like, you must be pro open border, you must say tear down the wall, and it's like, I know, but se nos van a echar encima todo el pinche mundo, güey. Like, there's a lot of people that don't like America. There's a lot of people that aren't going to be able to blend in. Like, there's parts in Europe, in Sweden, places that you would think, like Paris and Germany, that you would think it's like, oh, that's el puro güero. Ni madres, way. You go to Italy, they're washing up on the beach. Italy already has unemployment. Italy already has their own issues. And now their schools are being flooded with people from all over the world that just wash ashore because their leaders want to be woke. Germany took in so many because Angela Merkel wanted to be popular with the young college kids and say, no, send us all the refugees. Look at New York. New York said they want to be a sanctuary city until it's time to sanctuary. And luego dicen, no, we need a bailout. We need billions of dollars from the federal government for the migrant care, because what they're spending on migrant care is more than their parks and rec, sanitation, and fire department. So all the local services that a New Yorker expects from a first world country, like, hey, man, I need my trash to be picked up. Like,
Right.
I want to be able to take my kids to the park. You can't, because there's a refugee from Syria with mental illness who got dumped off somewhere through Panama, mixed in with Chinese adult males. So, some of these people soldiers, bro.
Yeah.
Some of these people, bro, come on. They got, bro, right now in Texas, and I'm going to be careful what I say because I know we're on platforms and you have to be very careful. But people from other countries are buying up land near military bases. They're setting up their own military bases. They have laboratories in our country. This is all inconvenient truths, right? You could take this how you want. But they already found laboratories with diseases. They're doing gain-of-function experiments. A lot of it is funded with our taxpayer money because they're smart. They know all the loopholes. So we're paying so they could be plotting against us.
Yeah.
They have police stations over here. These people from other countries got police stations in your backyard. The Chinese consulate in Houston, around election time, Harris County, which is very contested. Like they were running out of paper ballots. They're like, oh, we ran out of ink in certain districts. Oh, sorry, there's a delay. You could wait 3 hours if you want. O sea, un pinche desmadre. So the Chinese consulate had to shut down. They were burning documents. It was basically a den of spies. It was spies. And they were like haciendo su transita. So
Yeah.
So anyway.
You know, I got a couple of phone calls yesterday when I posted up your flyer in the morning. Yo, what up, Tone? Like, what's up, man? So you're gonna have that Trumper there?
It's a label, man. They like to throw labels around.
And I said, yeah. As a matter of fact, I'll tune in. So I just let him go.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Another guy calls. Hey, man, that guy went from they can't deport us all to voting for the guy that wants to deport us all.
I mean, not if you're a citizen, they can't. If you're a citizen, they can't.
So I just said, okay, make sure to tune in. Another guy, hey, bro, I'm gonna pull up on that Trump. You're not gonna fucking pull up, bro. Calm the fuck down. Anyways, but I just thought it was hilarious, bro.
Well,
but
thank you for having me because I'll come with a disclaimer.
yes.
Like, for real quick, I want to shout out comedian Willie Barcena, who is a man who stood up for me because, like, I admire him as a comedian. He's a veteran. He's a black belt. He's a bad mofo. And when his people called my management, La Wifeager, the shark, she's like, hey, Willie Barcena's people call me. He wants to work with you. I was like, yo, let's do it. They worked out the details. All right. Well, look, your first show with him is McAllen, Texas. So flyer goes up featuring special guest Chingo Bling. Of course, couple comments. Orale, I was going to buy a ticket, carnal. I had my debit card and everything. But now that I see this leva, you know, this lame ass fool, this chavala, this vendido malinche, turncoat, race trader, you know, vendido coconut, I no longer am going to purchase a ticket, eh? And I was like, so now some of his people got nervous. The venue chimed in. Yeah, we got some phone calls too. So now they're making it known on his page. They're not coming to my page. Hey, Chingo, I have an issue with you. I want to debate, whatever. No, they're not doing that. They want to make sure he sees it and his social media team see it so that in case it isn't sold out yet, right, we know somebody we could blame it on. So they obviously there has to be a discussion. Hey, is he hurting more than he's helping? Is this going to be a liability?
Yeah.
What do we do? Because Willie, this is your show. You're a brand and you're here to unite people. You don't want to divide people.
Right.
You don't want people thinking that all of a sudden you have a political leaning. So I come with a disclaimer, and thankfully, man, I still have a career. Obviously, there's people who want to play economic warfare.
Yeah.
There's comedy clubs who want to take it upon themselves to be active. There's managers. I'll say this. There's managers at comedy clubs who want to be activists with an agenda, who want to wage economic warfare on me and my family, knowing we had a good relationship, knowing I made y'all a lot of money. Like, when we do the payouts, like, we have year after year after year after year of receipts where you're seeing gross, net, total, sold out, 6 shows, added a show, 3 shows in one day. You're killing it, kid. We love you. You're awesome. We're putting your picture on the wall. Please sign this.
Right.
Y luego sale de que, oh, este güey.
Se vendió.
Yeah, este güey, coconut. Enjoy your Republican fans. See who's gonna buy your merch now, vendido. You know,
So-
you
so-
racist Nazi.
Okay.
It's like, hey, I just don't want kids to get trafficked. They're trafficking kids, and we need to keep a tight eye. Who's coming through? Who you with? What's in the backpack? Is that really your kid? Let's do a
Yes.
DNA test. No, you're separating families. No. We don't know if this dude is really the fucking dad.
Yeah.
Because he don't know how to change a diaper. And he damn near let the kid drown. So don't let the media assign you an opinion.
Yeah. Well, you know, okay.
Sorry, bro.
No. I'm glad you're speaking this. You know, I'm glad you're sharing this.
Hey, I don't know, man. I'm not trying to have like my yay moment right now. Pero neta, bro, a mí me vale, bro. Like, I'm a grown-ass man. And I love being authentic. I love being transparent. I love being honest. I love being true to myself, true to my family. And we don't have to agree on everything.
So is it safe to say that if you're raza, you can't vote for the orange guy? Is that really what's going on? And the reason why I asked that is because we always take a poll. As a matter of fact, Alex, I want you to do that too. Trump or Biden? Just put it up there.
Oh, man.
We always do that. And you know what? It's always Trump. And then I always say, you know, right now I'd vote for Trump over the fucking Michael Myers hair, Biden. You know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I just think the shit that he's done. I just hope whoever voted for that dude is fucking happy, cool, whatever. But right now, like, and I told people, if I had to vote for Trump and Biden today, I'd vote for Trump. I would. You know, the thing that I liked about him is that he's got balls. He doesn't give a shit what he fucking says, you know, and he probably usually tweets while he's taking a shit. That's usually what he does. Okay, but I like, what's that?
Before I post that, I asked the live chat, y'all gonna go to Chingo Bling show in Covina tonight?
Go ahead.
46% said, hell yeah, perro. And 17% said, I'm still mad at him. And 38 said, no, I don't care, and I don't know.
That's fine.
Out of 162 votes.
Have you ever had somebody show up and just to heckle you? Since
man,
that video?
No, thank God, man. Honestly, bro, like, you just have to witness these shows for yourself. I roll with nothing but like amazing comedians. Dude, last night in the green room, it was a star-studded event. We had Fluffy's road manager, my boy Eddie, Alfred Robles, Martin Rizzo, Darren Carter, myself. Back home, like, depending on what shows we're doing, Texas heavy hitters, man. Raymond Horta, Mario Salazar, Javi Luna, Midnight Castillo. Like, Ralph Barboza, he hosted a few shows for me before he, like, really blew up. Kim Flores, he's out here doing big things. He opened up for me in Chicago. Anyway, my point is this. Sometimes you get, like, the type of heckle that we get is an overzealous fan who's very excited. Just, you know, where's Cleto? Like, Chingo Bling. Like, hey, man. Like, Usher's boots. You know, they're excited. You know, it's so much love. I love my job. It's such a good feeling to just make people forget about their problems.
I'm going to give you an analogy, well, I should say an example. And I'm quoting Snoop, and I'm talking about music, but I'm going to relate it to your comedy. Okay, Snoop was quoted one day saying that in the 80s and 90s, no two rappers sounded the same. There was only two similar rappers, Dana Dane and it was Dana Dane, Slick Rick. Okay, he said nobody sounded the same because that would be biting.
Yeah.
You're biting somebody's style. Then he was saying today everybody sounds the same. One thing that I can appreciate from comedy, that you can't be biting people's jokes. Okay, now Joe Rogan, there's a famous video out where he went up on stage and he called out Carlos Mencia. Do you think that was the way to do it? Did he do the right thing? And do you think Carlos Mencia did steal jokes?
That is such a good question, man. Thank you for asking that. I was under the impression that the narrative, the jacket that they put on Carlos of joke thief, you know, it stuck. And he had several opportunities to, like, why won't this fool apologize? Why won't he just own it?
Right.
and he's making excuses. You know damn well. Like, I bought the narrative for the longest. But I will say this. I asked my buddy Juan Villarreal, who's a veteran Houston comedian, extremely funny. If you got a chance to see him, check him out live, please do. So I hung out with Juan recently in like Odessa, Texas, and we're having a burger, and I respect it. I love him so much. He's such an amazing comedian. He's older than me. I look up to him. And he used to roll with Mencia.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, bro, like, real shit between you and me, man. Like, was Mencia really out there jacking for jokes and then coming out here, selling the jokes? Basically, you stealing and selling. Like, you out here selling tickets off of an act that isn't yours. He said, man, hell no. He's like, bro, you really think somebody could be in the game that long and be that successful and not get, like, confronted or touched or something? And I was like, I know, bro, but, like, there's so many examples and so many people said so many things. And, he's like, okay, let's go bit by bit. He's like, the one about, if they're going to build a wall, who's going to build it? About Mexicans, like, pointing out the irony, the observation that people wanted to build a wall to keep out, allegedly, right? Mexicans, but it's ironic that who's gonna build it because we're the ones that do all the labor. Ha ha ha. He's like, dude, people had been doing a similar joke like that. He's like, it's so generic. He's like, 10 years prior, he's like, it's not Ari Shafir's original idea.
Right.
If y'all gonna say Carlos stole it, then Ari stole it too, because 10 other motherfuckers been said some similar shit. So he's like, in a comedy game, there's topics where people have similar takes. There's great minds think alike sometimes. And then there's like hacky material where it's like, dude, that's just generic.
Yeah.
For example, when Little Moco and I did Started from the Border, Now We Here, the parody, Drake, Started from the Border, Now My Whole Familia Here. That video got like millions of views. Well, there was a comedian who thought that I got it from him because he had mentioned it, and I heard him say it. But when Little Moco called me like, yo, we got to collab, let's work, I was like, what ideas you got? He's like, man, everybody and their mom is in my DMs, and I know they're in yours too. And I was like, which one is it, bro? He's like, Started from the Border. I was like, yes. I said, but I will say this. There was a comedian who said it around me. He's going to think I got it from him. He's like, fuck no, bro. He's like, everybody, mom. He's like, go look at my comments right now. Moco, when you going to do Started from the Border? So it's one of those where I was like, all right, bro, I don't want to get accused of biting, but okay, if you feel like the coast is clear on that idea. But anyway, to answer your question, maybe Carlos, I don't know. I can't defend another man's every word and action, just like the Orange one. People want me to stand behind everything the Orange man. Well, what about grabbing him by the pee? How would you like it? It's like, no, I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it at all. It's like, you have daughters? How dare you? You voted for the pussy grabber? Mira, hombre. Anda de grabbing y tú acá voting for him? Anyway.
That's terrible.
Sniffing's worse.
Sniffing
children is probably worse, but the news didn't assign them that opinion. So I will say this, man, with Carlos. It's unfortunate that's the perception. Yeah. Again, you can't control people's perceptions, man. You just have to like keep grinding, be true to yourself, be transparent, be authentic, be honest. And I pray that he's at peace with whatever it is he did.
I've seen a couple of interviews, bro, where there was one guy, I forgot his damn name, but he was like literally like interrogating his ass. And I was thinking to myself, why in the hell did you do this interview? The guy was like, you stole it, just admit it, say you're sorry. And he's like, I didn't steal anything. And the guy was like, yes, you did, Carlos. And I'm like, what the I wouldn't have done. I would have just walked out, bro. But there was I had a couple of comedians here that told me, yes, he did. No, he didn't. Yes, he didn't. No, he didn't. They just went back and forth.
Maybe he did. Maybe he stole some. I don't know. I mean, I don't have any like crazy loyalty towards him to like, yo, this my big homie, bro. He the first one took me on the road. Like, I can never turn my back.
Right.
I'm always going to ride with him. I met him a few times. He showed me love in the beginning
Yeah.
when I was doing my parodies. I was like fresh on the scene. And sure enough, he started I went to go see him at a stadium, like an arena.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's playing his parodies. You know, and I'm like, this motherfucker was bumping my shit in the tour bus and ran with my whole gimmick.
Right,
That's
right.
my shtick. You know, how dare you? I don't own parodies. Like, I'm not the first person. Like, even that whole, like, parody rapper thing, like, that wasn't even really going to be my thing. It's just, I did a couple, and then I saw, like, people, grabbed onto that, so I did a couple more, and I leaned into it. But really, I'm hip hop at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, really, to me, it's about bars. It's about spitting. And last night I was a little high, kicking it with the homies in the green room, and we're nerding out, we're geeking out about comedy. And I know I was high because they were just kind of looking at me like, what? But I was like, yo, man, at the end of the day, bro, on this comedy shit, I was like, we could take score different ways. We could compare bank accounts, like, oh, who's done arenas? You're still doing theaters and clubs or whatever. You ain't got a tour, but like, however y'all want to take score, I was like, but at the end of the day, you got to be nice with it. Every time you come to a city, you better have a fresh show. You got to stay writing. You got to pimp the pen. I was like, because I'm from the rap game, you know? I was high as shit. And I was like, that's like, sure, I like that I get compensated for my job. I like that at the end of the night, I get a check. I can feed my family.
Yeah.
I like depositing money. I was like, but all that aside, I'm competitive and I'm hungry and I really do this shit. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
it's hard juggling everything, like podcasting, social media. Like, you got to go do these voiceovers. You got to do these skits. You got to put the wig on. You got to spam people about your show. Covina, 6 shows, pull up. But like, I love this art form.
Yeah.
And I love hip hop. And I love what hip hop taught me because I bring that to the rap game. You know,
Yeah.
it's about attitude, energy, confidence. What's your bars like? Like, crowd control.
Yeah.
You ain't even got crowd control. What are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, hey, speak on it.
And dude, I got a lot of hate in the stand-up world because they're like, yo, and I get it because some people felt threatened. They're like, yo, I've been in line. I was in line first. I've been doing this already.
Yeah.
You must be one of them YouTuber type people who's trying to come over here, take up nights at the comedy clubs. You're bumping us.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, now watch me see if I'm really true to it. And see if I respect the craft and if I respect the art form. So I love that everything rap taught me from my rap years, like bringing that, like, for example, some comedians, they get writer's block, they get in their head.
Yeah.
Like, I can't post a joke on social media, then that's one less joke, you know, like,
Yeah.
or I can't record a whole new hour. That's a lot of writing. But I come from the rap world where it's like, you ain't dropping mixtapes? What else? Cool. What else you got? Oh, check out this verse I wrote. Bet. Where's the other verse? Where's the hook? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just from working with producers and being in studios and trying to prove myself because I was the college kid, college radio, not a gangster, and you want to be out here rapping with your little funny stuff.
Yeah.
Coming with your this angle, dressing funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, you don't understand how I came up under Flavor Flav, Slick Rick, Biz Marquee. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
like I was so happy when I saw Andre 3000 wearing wigs and shoulder pads and just putting together some bootleg outfit, you know, hey, y'all, like some shit that looks like it's from the thrift store.
Yeah.
Pushing the envelope of reinventing what hip hop is. Like, and then being from Texas, like, it was always about the coast. So when our scene was coming up, we're like the redheaded stepkids where we have to be independent. Like, we didn't grow up with a big label up the block where you could wait outside with a demo where your homie's the janitor or your tia used to clean the office where the A&Rs were.
Right.
Or where your boy worked in the mailroom. We didn't have none of that. It was all like, go to the flea market, see what happens. See, let's test how good your product is. Can
Yeah.
you get a fan base? And when the rubber hits the road, this is a business. So if you can't put asses in seats,
Yeah.
you just talking hot air.
That's it.
Oh man, I don't know why they don't want to book me. They'll never give me a weekend at that club. Hey man, what's up with the owner from such and such? Man, he ain't never had me up there. And it's like, I mean, how hot are you in that market?
Do you ever get people that come up to you, people that want to be in this business, whether it's be in the rap business or with the rap industry or in the comedy industry, and say, hey, bro, I know you're up there. Then you could hook me up, bro. Like, then you could like plug me in, do a couple of shows, since you're helping other people out, The reason why I bring that up is because I get this. I've done over 300 episodes already, amongst other podcasts. I have Calls with the Wizard. I have Drinking with the Wizard, Dining with the Wizard. I have a bunch of other shit. So I've done so many interviews already. So many conversations, but I always still get these people. Hey, homie, I thought you were raza. Why? Well, how come you haven't interviewed my homie? And I asked this guy this. How many more Chicanos do I have to interview for you to stop saying, I thought you were raza? Just interview my homie.
It's a burden.
It is.
It's a burden.
And we do that to ourselves, bro. Like, I don't get it.
Like, for example, I'll give you an example. Black folk have the burden, and I'm generalizing.
Yeah.
For the most part, black folk have been issued this burden of, if anybody says the N-word anywhere, I'm going to need you to be this upset. Not over here, not here, not here. What you going to do and what you willing to do, how you going to cancel this person, and I need you to be this emotional over this word. I don't want you to look at context. Was he quoting a story? Was he quoting Richard Pryor's album title? Is he really from the hood? Because there's some people can say it in a way where it's like, man, he cool. You could tell,
right?
He could say it. Yeah, I know how he meant it. Like Juan Villarreal, he'll rock like nothing but black crowds and could say the N-word and ain't nobody got no problem. Like he was telling me a story of and I'll get back on my point of like he's from the era where he came up with D.L. Hughley, George Lopez Mencia, Corey Holcomb, like all these people, and he's like, yeah, man, I seen Corey Holcomb. They didn't want to let me backstage with Corey Holcomb, and all his people like, nah. He's like, man, that's mine.
Yeah,
And they're like, man, we don't know. And then Corey comes around the corner. It's like, man, it's my, you know what I mean? And it's all love. But to get back to my point, raza, the burden we carry, and y'all could debate amongst yourselves as to, well, it's rightfully so, or it's nuanced, or you don't know what you're talking about, Chingo. But I perceive it from the angle that the same way black folk have been issued a burden that they have to carry to where, a huevo, I need you to have this emotional response. It could be used against you. It could be weaponized against you to manipulate you. So raza, it's a shiny object of like, quieren que te encabrones y que digas, now you got to prove how raza you are.
Yeah.
Dude, when all this stuff happened, I felt so free because it's like, oh, cool, bet. I ain't got to, and really like all these opinions that I'm saying, like that sound right-wing or controversial or whatever, this is all new. I wasn't secretly that like behind the scenes, for years, because some people try to say that too, because they think they're mind readers. This is all like during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I feel that raza, if we could really, it's a wound that I think we need to address, and you've experienced it. I feel like that discussion, that at the grown man's table, that conversation needs to be had, not at the kids' table, donde van a andar allá arguing and shit. This is like a real junta of, hey, homie, like, when y'all try to use that, just understand that we know what you're doing.
Yeah.
We understand it's a manipulation tactic, and I don't carry that burden. So you could call me what you want. I no longer carry, it's a lot of burden I don't have. Like I said earlier, man, I love being transparent, authentic, and it fits perfect with my job because it makes for great interviews. It makes for great podcasting, great conversation.
Absolutely.
That I don't have to tiptoe or fake the funk, man. This is a grown man, and I'm so honored because I watched the show. I've seen so many different people sit here, and it's so cool to like, oh, so this is where it happened. Okay, this is Wilmington, man. So the Roadium, so it's like a flea market, it's like a swap meet, and like, yo, so man, Tony was back there with all these people in this era when it was all happening. Like, I was a kid in Houston growing up, like Ice Cube, like what?
Top four, or should I say, your Mount Rushmore of comedians.
Oh man, such a tricky question, man.
By the way, thank you for that, bro.
Oh man, absolutely,
thank
my
you,
brother.
man.
Hey, just grown man shit. You know why? Because I want to be a river, not a reservoir.
Thank you.
The ego sometimes, everybody has an ego. The ego sometimes wants to, do this.
Yeah.
I know talent. You know what I mean? That's and I'm gonna say that as humbly as I can. You know what I mean? But I love to get props. I love seeing what you do good, what you do well, man. I love to pick your brain. Like, ¿qué te cuesta, güey? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm just trying to dodge the Mount Rushmore question. There's so many because there's so many styles and so many eras, and I really love the Mount Rushmore that includes somebody like a Juan Villarreal who comes from that comic view era.
Yeah.
Y'all got to go do y'all's homework on Juan Villarreal because a lot of people are not able to do the rooms and the crowds he's able to do, and to be so effortlessly funny. So I got to put Juan on there for sure. Obviously Eddie Murphy. I mean, it's an ocean, right?
Right.
It's an ocean of people, but like as a kid growing up, you got to give Eddie his props. Martin Lawrence is such a monster. He's such a beast. Let me think. Stand up. Cat Williams. I love Cat Williams. He really knocked it out the park. When he had his run, that arrow, he was just on top of the world. Like everybody was quoting it.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I got to watch a little bit of Que Locos, and like I said earlier, I respect George Lopez's contribution.
Yeah.
To he kicked down doors and he said jokes and he did material that we got all that out the way. Right. And that's such a big pioneer move. Although, people we don't agree politically at all. But, you got to respect the fact that somebody is going to come in during an era to almost like clear the feet, like really just trailblaze some shit. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say like because y'all be having fires and shit out here, but really trailblaze to where now Chingo could be Chingo.
Right.
Just like in this rap game, like when I knew I was gonna be, like I know I'm Mexican, right? So I just knew as a rapper, that's a space Latinos and hip hop got to navigate in different ways, whether you're Big Pun or, or Pitbull or whoever. I'm glad that I was able to get a lot of the food references out the way. You know what I mean? Let's throw some, have fun with it, because a lot of people, no matter what, when they hear Mexican rapper, that's been another obstacle where our food is so influential in our culture to where people, like Pitbull used to say, like, man, when they see a Latino rap and when they hear Latino rapper, they think like, it's like you just pictured an alien. Like, it's something so foreign to a lot of people in the grand scheme of things, based off what we're used to seeing. I mean, Be Real, Sin Dog. I mean, there's been so many to where, even like with Kid Frost, this is for La Raza, like everybody little by little is contributing while chipping away of the idea of what are our limitations. You got a lot of young kids coming up, and, I'm glad that, I did what I had to do my way, in a fly way, in my opinion. I did it, it's wacky. Wacky, you could interpret it how you want. It's not for everybody. But I knew that I was just my sense of humor, like I was into Beavis and Butthead. You know what I mean? Yeah. I was just like class clown, and it's like, I'm not a gangster. I'm not like, I could rhyme, but I could rhyme some gangster shit, but I'd rather have fun with it. Like my favorite rapper is Pimp C.
Okay.
You know, from the group UGK. You know, it's just a lot of attitude, persona, character, swag. But anyway.
Okay. You know what? We got a few minutes left before we take a couple of phone calls. And I know we talked about the whole comedy side of yourself, and I never got into the whole rap thing. I'm hoping maybe someday in the future you can come back, and we could talk about, you know, the whole rap thing, how it took off for you. But just possibly in a nutshell, what started your whole, if you will, the way you dressed, the way you carried yourself when it came to the whole rap thing? Because obviously you were different and a unique individual, different style of rapper. You had a lot of fans, you know, and everybody was Chingo Bling, Chingo Bling, Chingo Bling. Kind of just in a nutshell, how did all that come to fruition?
Well, it's interesting. So obviously, like I mentioned earlier, my influences, like I'm from Houston, Texas, and we're right next to Louisiana. So we're even getting New Orleans influence. And then just being a hip hop fan, I'm getting all that like New York Boogie Down Productions, and then NWA's making a splash. So, you know, I bought the first Tupac when he first came out. Yeah. When Jay-Z, I was living in New Jersey, like when Nas was first coming out. So I have Wu-Tang, all these influences, right? This smorgasbord. But at the same time, when I decided like, yo, I want to do show business, I kind of strategically looked at it like, okay, so obviously those are your influences, but how are you going to come in the game? Yeah. You know, is there room for something comedic? Like, it was a Hail Mary pass. It was like, dude, this sounds so risky. I was like, worst case, bro, you'll just be like a dude that they'll hire to do like skits on the albums. Oh, okay. So I was a college radio DJ in San Antonio. Aspirations of perhaps like it would be a dream job if I could get into show business, into the rap game. But I'm just a college radio DJ with a little bit of business sense. Yeah. And I started doing like the funny, like Chingo Bling persona on my radio show. And then I would do it for artists like mixtapes and like the interludes, local albums. So I came out the booth and I was like, yo, when I do that, that's Chingo Bling. And they're like, what did you yeah. Chingo Bling. And they just start laughing. I was like, I got something. I was like, if the name, I was like, it came to my head, it has a ring to it, it lets you know off top I don't take myself too serious, I'm silly, but it gives me that artistic license to be fly, so I could take chances.
What inspired the Chingo and the Bling? Obviously, the Bling's probably self-explanatory, but can you kind of walk us through it?
So basically, I like the fact that it was Spanish and English, because, you know, bilingual, Mexican American, like everything about us is bicultural. Yes. So off the top, I already like that, and the Bling part was like the hip hop side with flashy, like. I'm from like that Dirty South era with like grills. I kind of came up in those 2000s where it was all about your car and the pop trunk and the neons and whatever. But I wanted to do it in a funny way where like they're all talking about cooking dope. Everybody has a Pyrex and a stove and cooking up this, whipping that, everybody. And I'm like, you know, Chingo Bling, yo soy el verdadero freestyle king. Vengo de Tamaulipas, chinga conmigo y te saco las tripas. You know, and I get to say some shit about masa and, you know, tamale kingpin / masa dealer. You know, I could put some attitude on it and talk my shit. And I was like, oh, this is a perfect vehicle for me because I'm not a gangster.
Right.
I'm a college boy. I'm a college radio DJ. They're not going to take me serious. I already know they're not. So how do I lean into it more so I could like use that as leverage? Like, I know you don't take me serious. Please don't. Like my next thing, if you thought that was crazy, my next cover is going to fuck you up. You know, if you thought the first verse was stupid, you know, like, so I had to navigate like, how do I keep my ego at bay and not trip over wanting them? The ego wants them to take me serious. Yes. The ego wants respect. The ego wants everybody to know, like, no, they're really trying to sign me, bro. And I know you don't believe me. Like, I literally just had a meeting. Like, we just flew in. Like, trust me, bro. You know, like, am I gonna have to sign for y'all to believe me that they really want to sign me? You know, and or y'all really don't think I can rap? But that's like my downfall, though. It's like no. Don't try to like. Don't try to prove nothing to nobody. Just keep making silly stuff so that people can get a laugh and take their mind off their problems.
Yes, absolutely.
Focus on that.
I'm glad you brought up the college radio station thing, because in 1991 we did, when 92 when our album first came out, we hit up all the college radio stations. I think this generation of rappers are probably don't even aware how important and how
it was huge. CNJ,
yes,
the headlight, yeah.
Do they still have college radio stations today where rappers can actually go and tour college radio stations to promote their music?
I believe so.
Okay,
but I kind of have like, I'm not really in the game like that.
Okay, okay, but just to let you guys know that college radio station, at least for us back then, was really, really big, because that's an entirely totally different audience from radio. So that was dope. Now, you know what? Like I said, I wish I could get into a little bit more, but I want to take calls, because if not, they'll chew my ass out. Yeah. But here's what we're going to do, Alex. I'm going to go ahead and connect. Did you want to read that poll to that question? Okay, let's see.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for the comments.
Okay,
yes.
166 votes. I asked who you got, and 84% said Trump, 16% said Biden.
Yeah, so there it is there. Hey, make sure I'm connected, Alex. Open that up for me over there.
Okay, I got you.
See, and it's always like that here, but you always get people talking.
Yeah, and I get it. It's just weird coming from me. I totally understand.
All good.
It's because, you know, it's just politics is so it's such a dirty sport. You know, it's so messy. It's it's nuanced, and people don't ever want to specifically talk about like, well, what issue exactly are we disagreeing on? You know, it's just people become tribal. It's like sports.
Yes,
it's like teams and
Put the number up, Alex. Okay, once again, everybody. Yes, absolutely. Once again, everybody, this show was sponsored by Nacho Granny's Cookies. You want to try one, man?
Those are the non-medicated?
Non-medicated ones.
Because I'm already medicated right now.
There you go.
Thank you, sir. Oh, wow.
Angel, you want one?
I'll go right Damn.
Okay.
Yo, this is like a 2-pound cookie, bro.
Absolutely. The number, bro. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I usually like to say, if you got the balls, make the calls, because I don't want you guys jumping in my comments saying, you should have asked him this. I tell you what, Raza. I'm giving you guys an opportunity to call in and ask. Okay, so once again, okay, let's go. Okay.
Shout out my boy Kiki. My boy Kiki from East LA just texted me.
As a matter of fact, I got to...
Oh, my bad, bro.
Yeah, give a shout out to Kiki as well. As a matter of fact,
shout out to the homie Kiki.
He actually did my stickers.
Yo.
So, caller, your name or where are you calling from?
So.
Yo, what's good, my bro? Your name and where are you calling from?
What up, Lars?
Oh, Lars
from West Texas.
What's good, my brother? How you doing, man? Got a question?
Oh, doing well. Just had to check in today. I see Chingo Bling's up there. First of all, I want to say we got a lot of love for Chingo out here in the 325 and the 915 here in West Texas.
Already, bro. Appreciate you.
And I wanted to speak on a little something he had brought up a little while ago as far as the free speech issue. When you think about comedians in general, that they're some of the great philosophers of our age. They basically hold a mirror up to society and say, look at yourself in an entertaining fashion. We laugh at ourselves. We laugh at society. Nothing's off limits, or at least it used to not be. Everything was fair game. To a certain extent, I lost a little bit of respect for Tracy Morgan when he came out and apologized for a joke he made a while back because it wasn't politically correct enough or whatnot. Eddie Murphy, to a certain extent, has done the same. He's walked back his jokes from the 80s. But when you think about it, if you start saying, political correctness is a very slippery slope.
Mm-hmm.
It consumes everything and everybody in its path.
Mm-hmm.
So left unchecked, if you let it, you start telling comedians to apologize for this and that. Soon we won't be able to laugh at anything anymore. And we got to really be careful and really value our comedians out there who are telling it like it is, like I said, holding that mirror up to society and letting us laugh at others and ourselves. And I think that's a very valuable commodity here, especially this politically correct age we're living in.
Absolutely.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. And thankfully, I mean, Raza in general, we're not really. I don't believe we're politically correct by nature because we love to roast and it's puro cotorreo. Like, nah, man, like we know how to joke around. We know how to joke around. I think, and thankfully, my audience and my fans, they're never the ones that are like, oh no, move on, no, not funny. Don't talk about that. Those are like the woke college kids that have been brainwashed in these indoctrination camps known as universities.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I don't have none of those people come to my shows. So I have like the best fan base you could ever want.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.
And another thing, Tony, you just touched on the college radio circuit. And as somebody who started out in college radio out there in California, I was on KSBR in Orange County. I got to say, that's another very valuable form of media. You do get an audience like you don't get in commercial radio. I find that college audiences are a lot more tolerant. They're a lot more willing to look at different forms of music and explore different venues. It's an entirely different audience than commercial radio. And I can't say enough good things about college radio in general.
Absolutely.
As far as entertainment and any promotion of everything, you know.
Absolutely.
So,
all good, Lattice.
Yeah.
You're always
Anyway,
coming up with some dope questions, bro. Appreciate you, homie.
Yeah, well, thank you, and thanks for taking my call. And good to talk to you, Chingo, and
thank you,
doing
bro.
what you're doing, man.
Stay blessed, my bro. We'll talk soon. Okay, let's go. The phone lines are open. Once again, we're here at Soul Radio. Whoa. And once again, if you got the balls, make the calls. Don't be in my DMs or comments telling me, oh, I wanted to call. You didn't answer my call. Here we go right here. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
This is Ahmed.
Oh, God, this is not Ahmed. What's good, bro?
Chingo, when are you coming to Shadow Ridge?
Where is that?
Saddle Ridge.
Sharpstown.
Say it again. What state?
He couldn't keep up with it. He was just, I guess, joking. Okay, here we go. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Guatemala, and I want to say what's up, Tony. I want to say what's up to Chingo Bling. Bum, 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 bum. Palatiro, man. Palatiro, man.
That's not
man.
That's not me. That's not my song.
Hey, what's up, Chingo Bling, man? Damn, bro. I didn't think y'all were gonna answer. I'm calling from Guatemala. And look, man, I grew up in Florida, but my hometown is H-Town, you know what I'm saying? So that 7-1 trade, you're from Houston?
Yes, sir.
And I've been banging your shit, Chingo Bling.
I will.
Damn, but I can't believe I'm on the line, bro. and I'm sorry, Tone. Hey, shout out to Marvelous. I tried to call Marvelous. He told me he was busy. He was patting some people up. And shout out to NORBERT. Shout out to Alex behind the scenes. And hey, Chingo Bling. Damn, bro. The fuck, I've been watching your interview from the fucking. No. I can't say from the start. I started off a little afterwards. I'm a little drunk, but
okay.
Chingo Bling, man.
It's all good, brother.
Been one of the most fucking realest. Gracias, Tony.
All good, my brother.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
One of the fucking realest interviews I've ever seen, man.
Thank you. I hear you loud and clear.
All good, my brother. Did you have a question, bro?
Yeah. When you gonna have Marvelous on the line? Because I'm trying to call back.
Next week, bro. Next week.
I tried to call Marvelous, but look, Chingo Bling, man, look. I'm from Guatemala. I'm over here in the 502. I'm out here in Guatemala, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I grew up in Mexico for like a year.
Word.
My mom took me over there to H-Town. My brother was born in H-Town.
And you lived in Florida too, right?
And then we went to Florida, right?
Word. Hey, man. Well, shit. Thank you for calling in, man.
All good, my brother.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for calling in, bro. Appreciate you. Call in next week. I'll have Marvelous on.
Hey, Tony, don't come.
What's that?
Yeah, what's up?
I don't know. Bad connection. All right, callers, let's keep it pushing. Appreciate you. All the way from Guatemala. Muchas gracias. Let's see. Okay. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
I'm I'm calling from El Paso, Texas, man.
Chuco Town.
What's good, my brother? You got a question for Chingo?
Yeah, man. You know, like, man, Chingo Bling used to say, man, he used to call Donald Trump el pelos meados, and he was like a tia that he didn't like. I just want to know, like, what made him change about that, man? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I used to make fun of Latino. I used to make fun of Latino Trump supporters, and I even wrote.
No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm saying like you used to call el Trump el pelos meados, and he was like a tia que te caía más.
Yeah,
what changed?
I'm about to tell you what changed. I'm about to tell you what changed. So I even wrote an open letter like, "Dear Donald Trump, you've really done it now. You've awoken the silent giant. You've offended my people. I'm gonna make sure we all vote now. We're gonna get your racist ass out." Blah 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 blah. So
we did get him out, dog. We did get him out, though.
Okay,
now I'm gonna answer your question real quick. Long story short, my brother.
Go ahead, man. Ask me whatever you want.
You ready?
I didn't catch that, homie. What did you say?
I'm about to answer your question as to what changed, how I did a 180. So basically, man.
You didn't do a 180.
Yeah, I did a 180 because I changed my tune. Like, now I like the guy, and I voted for him in 2020, and I'm gonna vote for him again in 2024. So even if he's in the pinta. So what changed? Hey, what changed is this, bro, is I started noticing how the media manipulates things, and I started seeing that they were dishonest. And I also noticed how even Republicans didn't like the orange one, how the Republican establishment, the GOP, how much they were attacking him. Even Fox News don't really rock with him. I started paying attention to like, okay, well, what are his policies? What is he saying and why? You know, what is populism? What is economic nationalism? Like, why does he keep saying we need to bring the jobs back? And why does he keep saying America's in a decline? Like, we're falling off. We're getting weaker. We need to be strong. You know, so I want a strong dollar and safe communities. I like safety.
I'll tell you like this. I used to work for a manufacturing thing that we used to get a lot of steel. You know what I mean? And then when Trump put those sanctions on me, that put me out of a job, Doc. What are you going to tell me about that, Doc?
No, hey, well, you have a very good reason.
Like,
no, hey, and when they start playing with your money, bro,
I mean,
I feel you.
People like you be like, hey, yo, man, he's putting China in a chokehold and shit, man. But you know what? That motherfucker put my family in a chokehold, Doc. I had to figure out how I had to go get another job, man. And I had been working there for 4 years.
No, that's
so
very.
You tell me what he did here for you. And for America, you tell me what he did for you in America.
Well, you know what?
And then
I'm not.
Then I'll be like, oh, you got a point.
Instead of me doing that, instead of me trying to defend an imperfect man, that I'm not gonna defend all of his actions. But what I will say is this, man. I feel for you. It's very unfortunate. That is one of the worst feelings a man can go through when you're put in a position by outside forces, by politicians, by global BS that's out of your control, because your number one responsibility is your wife and children, your family. That's the most important thing. And us being able to put food on the table is the most important thing. And I really apologize. And you have a very good reason to be upset. And I'm very sorry that whatever was happening on a global scale, where the steel was coming from, I don't know all the inner workings of your job, but I just pray that whatever is coming next is great for you, my brother. And
Absolutely.
I feel for you.
Thank you for calling in, bro. I appreciate you, homie. Thank you for asking those questions.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Peace.
Okay, let's keep it pushing. Let's go. We got maybe about 14 more minutes. Let's see. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
This is Jordan calling from Rancho Cordova.
What's up, Jordan? How you doing, man? You got a question for Chingo?
I got a question for both of you. I watch both of your podcasts. You're my favorite podcasters.
Thank you.
I know you talk about Julio Cesar Chavez. I know Chingo talks a lot about Canelo. I guess my main thing, because the fight game, is who's your favorite UFC fighter, number one? And number two, if you could train in anything besides Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, what would it be?
It's a lot of questions. They're all good, though.
Okay.
So,
let me say this. Do I take Julio Cesar Chavez over Canelo? Of course. Absolutely. Because that's what I grew up with.
He's the GOAT, yeah.
Yes.
I love Julio Cesar Chavez.
And then the next question was, what do you say?
What do you say? Favorite MMA fighter?
A favorite MMA fighter? I'm going to say Brian Ortega. That's what we had here, right? Right? Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to say him. I also like Amanda Nunes, as a female.
Yeah, she's dope.
Okay.
And the last one was, you got three of them.
He asked me if instead of being a white belt with 2 stripes in BJJ, what other sport I would like to do, like martial art.
MMA sport or martial art, yeah.
I'm interested in wrestling. I'm very curious about wrestling because my grandfather, Pedro Herrera the First, I'm the third. When he happened to be living in America, this is, you know what, my timeline is weird. It was between wars. I don't know if it's Korean War or something, but so I have a lot, like my family tree has a lot of roots in Kansas City. Anyway, long story short, my grandfather learned wrestling while he was working in America from some like German dude. Oh, no, and I got pissed at my dad recently because I'm over here proud of myself trying to show him like there's this sport and it's so crazy because it just applies to life. You learn about leverage and, you know, and I was never in no team sports. Like I used to like playing hood ball, basketball and like, you know, what is it? Tackle on the grass, tag on the street, football. But I never made no team or nothing like that. So I was mad at my dad because he was like, "Oh yeah, your grandfather used to wrestle," and I'm like, "Yo, I never. If I would have known that somebody in my family tree learned this amazing ancient sport, I was like, I probably would have had that confidence to have pursued it a little bit and known that I was capable."
Yes.
So anyway, yeah. So I probably had to say wrestling. And my favorite, I'm not an expert on MMA people, but like I really like Khabib's style.
Okay.
Where you know, yeah. Yeah, because his faith and just who he is off the mat and also like applying pressure and just being so dope and saying send location. Because sometimes you got to get petty like that.
Yeah.
You got to fly out the cage, man. You got to get in Dana White's face.
All good, caller.
Right on.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.
All right.
Send location.
Yeah, let's keep it pushing. You guys, we got time for a couple of more phone calls. Let's see. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Mo from the North Bay.
What's good, my brother? How you doing? You got a question for Chingo?
Yeah, hey, what's up, Chingo? What's up,
what's going on, bro?
What's up, bro? Okay, I guess. Caller, your name and where are you calling from? I think this is my boy for Yonkers.
Yonkers, New York.
Sergio from New York.
What's good, my brother? How you doing, man? You got a question for Chingo?
What up, Tony?
What's that noise, bro? Is that lunchtime?
Yeah, man. Nah, just getting off of work.
All good, bro.
How about?
Hello?
Nothing. I was just gonna ask. By the way, what's up, Chingo?
What's going on, bro? You up there by
Nothing, man. How was
money?
working with?
Go ahead.
Nah, how was it working with Nori in that Mas East?
Yo, man, first of all, when I was going to high school in New Jersey, I used to listen to CNN, Capone Noriega. I heard, I know I'm on the West Coast right now. I know I'm in Wilmington, but when Corrupt and Snoop was knocking over the towers, and and Capone Noriega had to hit him with that doo-doo, and Jose Luis, you know what I mean? At the time, bro, I was living in Jersey. I was in high school. Like nobody was gonna say they was riding with Pac. Like everybody had to take Biggie's side because that's just what it was. You know, we were kids. It was like wrestling to us. But working with Nori was such an honor, and I never forget. We did some shows together. He let me go on last. We did some shows in Florida, and it was Chingo de Raza in Florida. So he was like, "Bro, come on, man. I think they're here for you or whatever." And it blew me away because I'm like, "Yo, this dude's this humble." Obviously, he's a star. And I remember when he had the idea for Masmais, I never forget. He's like, "Yo, I'm bringing reggaeton to America," and he's like, "We gonna do a song. It's gonna be called More Corn." And I'm like, "More corn?" He's like, yeah, Mama E. Hey, tell him what it means, Mama E. And I didn't really get the innuendo. I didn't really understand the double entendre. But I was like, all right, bro. And I was like, okay, the beat's hot, whatever. I was in Houston in the studio knocking out a verse for my album. And I was like, okay, let me knock this out for Nori. And I had to navigate the space of like still being my silly self, but trying to still contribute, like, as an artist, like, let me bring some paint with some colors that, you know, they might not be used to. But Nori always showed me love. Like, he would see me with my boots and stuff. He's like, yo, you a movie. He's like, yo, Chingo a movie. And as a hip hop fan, to kick it with him and Ching Bing, he has a homie named Ching Bing, which our names get mixed up a lot. Like Fat Joe was trying to say Ching Bing one time. He was telling a story on Drink Champs about Ching Bing defending Nori in prison. He was like, and with Chingo Bling, he said some gangster shit. This is an exclusive. This is a Roadium Radio exclusive. Fat Joe was telling a story on Drink Champs. They were probably drinking. And he was just like, yo, and when Chingo Bling say, nah, it ain't going down like that. And when Chingo Bling rough motherfuckers up, and when Chingo Bling, he meant Ching Bing. But I ain't never corrected nobody until right now. And I am slightly thrown off too. So like I'm not saying I'm a loose cannon. I'm a grown man too. But like anybody that's done a little bit of research on me, like I'm not a gangster. But do a little bit more research on me. If, you know, just do some more, ask around a little bit more. So people was like, yo, Fat Joe, man, he only talking Greek, man. He saying you nothing to be messed with. And I was like, yeah, what Fat Joe say? Yeah, well, whatever he said, hey, whatever he said, that's what he said then. That's what he said it then. Okay, whatever Fat Joe, that's Don Cartagena.
Yeah, exactly.
That's Joe. That's Joey Crack. What you mean?
All good, my bro.
Hey, you over there by Money Earning Mount Vernon?
All right.
For sure.
Already. Yo, and one last thing, man. What do you think of the rap scene as far as Mexicans in Texas with this dude? What's his name? OT?
Oh yeah, OT's blowing up.
Yeah, what you think about that?
Man, I think he's representing Texas well. They're, him and his team. They're running a beautiful play right now. I mean, they're accomplishing everything you would want to accomplish as a new artist. Representing well for the state, for the new generation, keeping all that stuff alive. People mention us together a lot because he'll wear the hat and the boots, or the shorts and the boots, and you know, people are like, oh man, that's Chingo. So it's cool to see the next generation and how much further they're able to take it and all these new things that they're doing. Yeah. And I met him once. We were in the studio together and we did a song. We're featured on the same song. It's not out yet. The artist is named Gold Soul. He's one of the two dudes that did that song from Corpus Christi. And that was like their claim to fame. It was ridiculously huge. So hopefully the song gets released and cleared and everything, but yeah, props.
Dope. Mm-hmm. All good, my brother. Appreciate you, homie.
All right, man. All right. Yeah, no problem, man. Have a good one.
You too, my bro. This guy called one day and he tells me, hey, man, you know who's from my neighborhood? And I said, who? And I thought it was going to say famous rapper. He goes, the son of Sam.
I love it.
I'm like, damn, you are, bro.
Like serial killer?
Seriously, serial killer.
Man,
yeah.
Son.
Caller, your name and where you calling from? You are our last caller.
Alonzo from San Diego, California.
Alonso. I know I recognize your voice. What's good, my bro?
What's cracking, camarada?
Nada, aquí nomás, bro. You got a question for Chingo, homie?
Actually, no, just not necessarily a question, but, you know, just want to just say a little something.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, pretty much, it's pretty cool, man, you know, seeing somebody, you know, Chicano, you know, two Chicanos, you know, one from the 80s and 90s, you know, and, you know, they're talking, you know, to the next generation of somebody that was, you know, Chingo came into a very special time in hip hop. You know, it was like the maybe late 90s, early 2000s. And much respect to Chingo, man. He fucking, I remember, man, I'm 38 years old right now. And the internet wasn't too savvy on information. So, but man, dude, I remember like Chingo was, I think, responsible also for, like, you know, they looked at him to, you know, trying to unify like Latinos and Mexicans in hip hop, dude. And man, dude, I'm here in California, dog, and it was good times, dude. He was part of some big shit, dude. Like fucking, I remember him in Mas Mais. I mean, that I was dancing to that song in fucking TJ. And you know what I mean? I was when Party in TJ was still a thing. I remember him his cameos with that Baby Bash I'm Back with Akon. That was a big song. He had a cameo in that. So, you know, he had everybody. You know, he had like my homies out in Cali, like, yo, who is this cat? Like, you know what I mean? He's out there, you know, bringing the custom clothing with like the, with the Mexican jokes and stereotypes, and And I know that fucking clothing was expensive, dude. So much respect, man, because, you know, that song, Mas Mais, you know, it had like Noriega, it had Fat Joe, Little Rob. So, man, dude, much respect to Chingo Bling and what you guys do. You know, you guys fucking still never gave up and try knocking into an industry that fucking, you know, didn't want us. But when they do, they let in like one dude at a time, two dudes if we're lucky, man. So, like I said, dude, much respect, dude. I just, like I said, Chingo just took me back at like I said, the special time where, like, in special time in hip hop, where it was really hard
nostalgia,
for us.
Carnal. Nostalgia.
Yeah, nostalgia, big time, dude.
Nostalgia.
And like I said, it's a trip because, you know, Chingo Bling still looks real young.
Hey, it's just for men, bro.
But yeah, man, just wanted to.
Me pinto la barba, carnal. Me pinto la barba.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Mi vieja.
Yeah, gotta have that salt and pepper a bit. You know.
All good, my bro.
But yeah, man, that's just what I wanted to say, dude. It was crazy, dude. It was crazy that time when Chingo came in, dude, and like I said, much props, man. He crashed in, dude, and he was needed, man. He was needed at that time.
Absolutely.
I was a different ingredient. Thank you, man.
Yes.
I'm glad he peeped the recipe, and
yes,
and I'm glad he it made an impact on him in terms of, like, he paid attention to the details of the crazy stuff I was doing, like he said, like fashion wise, because I'll never forget Ghostface Killer from Wu-Tang. He had an album, I forget which album it was, but on the cover he had like the Clarks, the Wallabies, and they would have skits where they're like, yo, he was like, woo, man, these right here, look, check this out. Like the Wu-Tang, it was always like three other voices. Yo, what you gonna do, fam? What you gonna do? He's like, yo, I'm gonna dye this right here, hit it with the turquoise. You know, the other side, hit it with these right here, I'm gonna fuck them up this summer. I'm gonna put cherry, whatever. Like they're talking about these colors and custom dyeing Wallabies, and that's always been a part of hip hop in terms of your imagery. It was also something you didn't want to bite, you know? And when I did do the cowboy hat, the shorts and the boots, it was a risky thing because the first time I was going to go out in public with that, I was almost going to throw up because I was so nervous about, I had to host this thing in San Antonio, and I was like, all right, man, I'm going as Chingo Bling tonight. And all my boys are like, okay, like, what the hell you got on? And I'm in the parking lot like Eminem, Mom Spaghetti, palms are sweaty. I'm like, I don't think they ready for this, man. They're like, you good, man? You good? You look a little silly, but, you know, I guess, whatever. It's like, it's going to be a lot of people. I don't think they're ready, bro. I don't think they're going to get it. They're not going to get it. They're going to, like, they're all going to make fun of me, basically, type of thing. And I went up there.
That shit was hella different, dog.
I bit the bullet.
You had the Tejana, you had the Tejana, the stunner shades. You had the custom boots with like the vaquero.
Hey, everything was custom. Hey, look,
that shit was fucking.
As Johnny Dang, y'all know TV Johnny Dang. As Johnny Dang, who was the first? I know.
Jeweler.
Okay, ask him. Who was the first one that had the flag in the grill? Like, who started putting flags in the grill? And he was like. He's like, yo, man, everybody want... He sound like Canelo. I'm on TAC. My accents are crisscross. But he's like, hey, man, you did the Mexico... They literally had me on the website and on the menu at the mall where they had their spot, where it's like the Chingo Bling grill. Where it's like any kid that wanted the Mexican flag on the bottom... It's like, the Chingo Bling, the number 47. Oh, it was like on the menu of shit you could order.
Wow.
It was like, I guess, popular and kids wanted it. And then he's like, man, Fat Joe, he want Puerto Rico flag. Like, Fat Joe, buy grill for me because you, Mexican flag, mama. Or whatever.
That's dope.
Man, that's big, man. That's huge, dude.
Yeah.
All good, my bro.
See, you know,
Thank you,
embedded in hip-hop culture, dude. You got us in, dude. You and Tony and others, you guys got us in, dude.
Gracias,
much
carnal.
respect, man.
Thanks,
Thanks,
brother.
Tony, dog. Thanks for taking my call. Gee, I just wanted to tell that to Chingo, man.
Appreciate you, dog.
A lot of people, they forget what Chingo did. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Some remember. So,
okay, Alonso.
Contribution was positive.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Hasta luego, pues, carnal.
All right, Tony, ahí estamos.
Okay, late. Okay, that's it. That was it. We can take these off now. Okay, we're good. Chingos, anything that I didn't ask, anything you want to bring up, anything you want to promote, maybe you want to promote your shows again?
I'm on tour, chingobling.com. You can get tickets, see what cities we're coming to. We got like San Antonio coming up. San Diego, we had one of the calls from San Diego. That's like in a couple weeks. But check out the website for the tour tickets. I have several podcasts. I go live with my wife. I think we're going to go live today.
Okay.
It's Cafecito time, so it's on social media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We try to go live. Several podcasts. My wife has a podcast. We're trying to build a network, a platform like yourself. But that's basically it, man. Just keep up with me, keep track, chime in, tap in, leave a comment, whatever. I appreciate all the support.
All good. I know our tags up on the screen. You can follow Chingo, or you can. It's on the description as well. Hit him up. I believe he has the flyers for the locations for tonight and for this week.
Yeah, I'm at Covina. Yeah.
I know I mentioned it earlier that we are going to be podcasting live from downtown LA Sunday. I don't know if you have anything to do Sunday, but once again, you know Magic, Little Rob, Baby Bash. We're all going to be live at right here in downtown. Starts at 6 to 11. The concert, we're going to have a lot of fun, like I said, and we're going to be there podcasting live.
Oh, damn, I have a show Sunday.
Okay.
But speaking of all those guys, man, they show a lot of love. And I still drop music, too. So from time to time, just go check up on me, man. Check for me. I promise not to let you down.
All good. Other than that, any shout-outs you want to give?
Nah, man, just shout out to California, man. I always have my back. People ask me all the time, man, where you get the most love at? It's like, obviously, home's always going to have your back, but I really got to tip my hat to the West Coast, because even throughout all the controversy, because since the beginning, man, I would do in-store signings in Palm Springs, and the first improv comedy club I ever did was the San Jose Improv, and then I did Ontario Improv, then I did Houston Improv and all those. So Cali's always had my back. Shout out to y'all.
All good, bro. First and foremost, I want to say thank you very, very much for coming and blessing the mic, and giving us a dope conversation, bro. I truly appreciate it. Hopefully it's not your last time here. Whenever you're in town, man, whatever we can do for you, bro, let us know. Okay.
Love what y'all do, brother.
Absolutely. Gracias, carnal. Let me give a shout out once again to Nacho Granny's Cookies. These are some nice fatties, some nice thick ones. They're nice and beautiful, just like a lot of you ladies out there. So also let me give a shout out to
the cookies you got to grab like this.
Yes, exactly. Also the Cal Dental. Let me give a shout out to Alex Cervantes Enterprise. Let me give a shout out to Norby's News with Norby's, the Hip Hop Jedi, my son B-SKANLESS. Also to the Wilmington Weatherman, Angel Montes, owns the biggest restaurants in the city of Wilmington. Our moderator Magic Girl. Also, once again, Sunday will be live. I'll be posting up the flyer later with the you see, stay away. For the location for Sunday's event, we're gonna start podcasting live, but the event opens up we're gonna start podcasting at 6. The event opens up at 5. Okay. MC Magic, you guys want tickets? Go to mcmagicconcerts.com. MC Magic, Baby Bash, Little Rob, J Rocks, and a bunch of other people and a surprise guest. Other than that, Alex, go ahead and take us away to the super chats.
Okay.
For those that drop some money, go for it.
Okay. Michael Rosas dropped $2. He said, Chingo Bling, where's Little Moco?
He's in Las Vegas.
Okay, 94 Emmett dropped $1.99. They said, when can we see Chingo do another Canelo parody?
Right now it's Cinnamon Week on my social media, because he has a fight coming up.
Okay.
So I go all in, man. It's Cinnamon Week.
Cinnamon Week.
Hey, as a matter of fact, all Canelo fans, if you're going to the fight, make a poster and make it say Big Cinnamon Energy, because that's a song I released on iTunes. It's like Canelo inspired.
Can you give us like one or two Canelo words?
Canelo what?
Canelo words like.
Okay, I'll do a piece of the rap.
Okay.
Don't call it a comeback. Don't talk about my mom. If you pass a line, left hand drop bombs, Big Cinnamon. Known for the liver chat. Das. Now here comes the apricot. Hey, nosotros somos Feria Team. Blue Bugatti, I got it because I win. Left, right when I fight. Saca la colchita, he's out for the night. Go memes. If you don't believe me, pay-per-view, Puro Life or TV. Champion belt, that is my new buckle. When I win, tattoo me a new freckle.
Yo, that's dope. That's dope. Go for it, Alex.
Okay, JG dropped $9.99. They said they still can't deport us all. Will you ever bring back your bobblehead with Cleo? With
Cleto.
Well, yeah, he wrote Cleo right here. Probably auto-corrected. And the suitcase full of tamales. My old one broke. Had a few nephews and kids.
He got his money's worth on that comment, boy. Per letter.
Yeah.
Shit. There was a couple questions in there.
They want you to
bring back the bobblehead. Yeah, man. Right now, I love all the nostalgia because I've been around so long. You got to reinvent every 10 years.
Yes.
I've been around so long to where people know me from different eras. Like, they might know me from a voiceover. They might, whatever, So yeah, we love bringing back old stuff, classic, iconic stuff.
All good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, JG also asked another question. They've been a member for 2 months.
Thank
you. I was dreaming of mañosas till I jumped out the bed, put my chanclas on, and looked in the mirror and said, "¿Qué onda, güey?"
Yeah, he's quoting a song and some other stuff.
Oh, good.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Okay. 94M dropped $4.99. They said, thanks to the whole Roadium radio team for putting this together. Chingo, who's your top 5 stand-up comedians? Thanks again.
We already answered that.
Yeah,
you gotta watch the show, my brother.
Hashtag Feria team.
Already. Hell yeah.
Okay. Amanda dropped $5. She said, bring back that Sunday night Chapaholics.
Yeah, that was a radio.
Back in the day, intro was 100.
Oh yeah. Shout out to the Chapaholics for sure.
Okay, Isaiah Chavez dropped $5. He said, shout out to the Paletero man. Love your Canelo skit.
Well, Paletero man's not me. They confuse that.
Who is that?
ODM from Lighter Shade of Brown.
No way.
Well, he worked at the radio station in Riverside. He started doing like Mexican sounding parodies around the time I was known for that, but he would never claim his songs, so I'd get blamed for them.
Oh wow!
But it's all good. I mean, I'm sure he looks at it like, well, good for you. You know, you got to use some of that notoriety, but
okay,
wasn't me.
Isaiah Chavez said, I saw your show last week at the Improv. Keep up the good work, Brody. Viva la raza.
Thank you.
Okay, Isaiah Chavez dropped another $2. They said, I'm Mexican, but I could vote. If I could vote, I'd vote Trump.
All good. Let's go.
Okay, Amanda dropped $1.
All
That's
good.
it.
Thank you.
Arthur Saldana dropped $2. They said, top 5 interviews of Roadium Radio.
Thank you, my bro.
Okay, and Enrique Ledesma dropped $4.99. He said, what are your thoughts on other Texas rappers like Maverick, Oversized Tetas, supporting Chomos, and making y'all look bad? I don't know.
I don't understand.
Mexawack? Oversized?
I don't know.
Who's Mexawack?
I think he's trying to shoot a jab at Mexican OT. But hey, I mean, if you don't like him, don't tune into him. You know, it's a free country. There's a lot of different styles, you know.
Yeah. All good. How much more?
That's it. We're done.
Okay. Other than that, once again, you guys, I want to thank all of our members, everybody on the live chat, everybody who decided not to be on the live chat, but everybody who tuned in. But our members, we're going to be filming the event, so you're going to watch at least a good portion of the concert on Sunday, only on the members only page. So make sure you guys become a member. You guys pay more for a Starbucks cup of coffee than you guys would to be a member, in 1 month. So you guys are going to see some Baby Bash, Little Rob, and once again Magic, J-Rocks on the members only. So make sure you guys become a member. So thank you, much love and respect. I think you got one more or no?
Yeah, it says.
Okay, go for it.
It's from 94M.
Uh-huh.
They dropped $1.99. They said, "Are you going to do double corn for this next fight?" I don't know what.
I don't know, double corn.
Or like do a Canelo skit. That's a reference to one of the Canelo skits I did. Yeah, it's Cinnamon Week. On my social media.
All good.
I'm probably shadow banned, but yeah, look, search for me.
All good. Other than that, you know what? I think that's about it, right, Alex? See you guys Sunday, 6 o'clock. Once again, Roadium Radio will be live. Get your tickets at mcmagic.com, mcmagicconcerts.com. Once again, Chingo Bling, muchas gracias, carnal. I hope you guys sell all your damn shows, bro.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you. We're out of here. Take us away, Alex.
Hey, yo, I want to give a special shout out to Cal Dental USA. They taking dentistry to the next level. I'm wishing all the employees, a real, just safe quarantine, man, during this time. I know it's tough. But look, if you need a dentist from LA to the OC, they got you covered, man. Like Hustle Man would say, the marathon continues. You heard?
You got it